for the bill.
Do we have a date set?
You know, I don't.
June 21st next year.
No, okay, so.
We're getting married at the chapel.
Resonator.
Awesome. And then our mission for the website.
Is that like not usually. The resonator is for good.
Yeah, no, it's a good one, right?
Oh, okay. But this has. Oh, yeah. It's all back here.
Yeah. I can't even be Jesse. That's totally cool.
So, this company you're working for?
Yeah, I made it. No, it's fun.
Is that kind of Logan?
Background research is coming in pretty important.
This is where Logan had his back.
Several times, like before I put them down, it goes to the next one.
Yeah, and
The side road going.
then I get the water you have.
Grandpa.
Great Lake.
I'm going to get everybody, and you're leading them.
I made it at tinyurl.com.
Again.
Thank you.
Sit down.
Understood. Find our seat.
In your seat, wherever you're sitting.
You're probably
Folks may not know it, but there is a family grace for this family. And it's about damn time that you're learning it. There's enough here who do know it that can be helpful. It goes this way. Be thou the silent guest in this our home. Fill us with thy sweet temper, that whether we eat or whether we drink, or whatsoever we do, all may be done in thy name. Amen. Now we're going to do it again. Because you show promise. Be thou the silent guest in this our home. Fill us with thy sweet temper, that whether we eat or whether we drink, or whatsoever we do, all may be done in thy name. Amen.
And we all had to hold hands too.
Pat tells me, and I generally follow her instruction, that I should welcome you all. Now, does anybody here not feel welcome? Man, I gotta pray with you. Anything else, Pat?
I have a little detail announcement.
Yes.
This is a little detail. There is, and
earring in the bathroom that looks like a diamond. It's not that. I don't know what it is. But anyway, if any of you men lost if anybody lost a little diamond stud.
And which bathroom down here?
Yeah, glittery stud. It's on the sink. On the wall. On the sink.
No, you were just saying that if there is a stud. You're in trouble.
It's on the counter next to the sink.
Oh, Susan, weren't you the Hope Diamond?
Pat's instruction is that you all go get your own food. That it's available to you.
Maybe a table at a time would make it easier.
Any way you want.
No, you're saying
You did good, Father. You can sit down
it's
now.
wonderful to have everybody here, and in the name of family.
Yeah.
A woman.
Mom and Dad should be served first.
You got your food already there?
Already gonna start eating.
Good job. Good job.
I might steal it too. I'll bring you a potato.
Thank you.
Not that. They were all when I was and then that shifted.
They have it in my life. But I want to begin by saying how happy we are all to be here, Mom and Dad, and for thanking you for this event.
Look what we produced.
Yes, I would say this is a productive. We want to thank you all. And, having been instructed by my youngest sister, Kline, to get up and say something, I want you to know that I'm glad you did, because I get the opportunity to remark that my hero in life has always been my father. I've always been blessed by a gracious mother who treated me far too well for far too long. And, it's amazing when you really stop and think about it, the effect that parents can have. And parenting is something you all are beginning to explore, I think, or succeeded in. But I love seeing the new generations come along, and I believe that really it's a miracle in some ways that we are blessed with one another. And to the extent that we can appreciate this blessing and continue to show up and be present when these moments come along, I think that we will have done Mom and Dad the greatest honor, because I know their families did this. The Kline family was a family that understood family. I remember being the little kid. Where are some of these little kids? Oh, I see. Where's Nicoya? Nicoya, what's your birthday? Isn't that amazing? You know what my birthday is?
Oh, that is.
Yes, we have the same birthday.
You guys planned that really well.
And every time I have my birthday, Nicoya, I
came 2 weeks early just for it.
I have a grandniece who has the same birthday. And one day, when you're my age, you'll be able to get up and remember and reflect upon this event like I can, being at the house on Ridge Avenue, and remembering my grandmother and my uncles and the gathering, and then going into the living room and singing the Alleluia chorus. Handel's Alleluia chorus. And we could sing it, man. I'll tell you something.
all parts.
All the parts were there, and I would stand next to my Uncle Kenneth, Uncle Kay, the two Kevs. We were tenors. But singing the Alleluia chorus, the reason I bring this up is because I believe this is the Alleluia moment. There's something rather Alleluia about this moment. And whether we all can sing the Alleluia chorus, I'm sure you can't. Most of the kids don't even know what it is. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. How terrible. We have had it. But
Dean said Jesus.
Nah, that's not. It's not actually what he said, Kath.
And I found the Dean comes from a Lutheran Methodist background, even though he doesn't want to admit it. But I know he does. And see, Jim, that's good because you're Lutheran and I'm Methodist, so that works. That works. That covers the bases for us. And all I can say is that these touchstones, these anchors, are the Alleluia moment in life. And you know, I'm going to reflect on that for a minute. Turn this over to my brother Logan, who I'm sure is going to have a different approach.
This is mine.
That's Logan's approach. Barbie.
What?
You got to get. Kathleen wants us all to say something.
I didn't order that. You planned it.
Are you incapable of getting up and saying something?
Well, you know, only in a working mode. What he just did right here is what he does.
I didn't. Hey, Kathleen did it to me.
So, but you know, obviously, I love seeing everybody. I just kind of sit back and watch. I don't even really have any words to, and I see tears in my husband's eyes, you know, I see these pictures. And the pictures are, I'm very visual, so the pictures, you know, you really see the feeling. And what's different about this family, you know, this family is pretty diverse, and we have lots of wonderful qualities. We have lots of frailty. But this family is so a reflection of these two and how they were able to always embrace the one that didn't have a family, or the one that didn't, you know, we were always raised, of course, that you had to be home for dinner.
Right.
But the theme really was that you had to be home. You always had to be home. They let go easily.
And if
they
you
always
didn't
had to
come
be home. So
they were sitting up at 5 in the morning waiting for you.
that's right. And you didn't, if you couldn't be home for dinner, you know, you wanted to be with your friends, you were allowed to bring your friends. And that was really the way that our family became so well known, because there were so many in our family that weren't in our family that felt in our family. And I remember the thing that stands out the most for me was my friend Linda Bast, who never had a family, and stood up and said, I just wanted to be there with you guys. You know, it was really special. And my parents always knew how to welcome anyone, and insisted that we have that same talent. So. But I love seeing the younger ones. That really is a joy for me. But these two, I mean, you know, I thought that everybody was like these two. Such a rude awakening when you go out in the real world and you see what, you know, most people don't have. And family is the greatest gift of all. That's what I
No, I don't know if I have anything to say. It just is so, you know, I just feel so heart-blessed to have this family, and to have this family to come back to, and to have Mom and Dad continuing to, you know, expand their home to be able to serve us so well, and in all ways. And I'm not the preacher and the vocal one in that way. Out of my siblings, I usually leave it to them. But you know, it's just, you know, right now, you know, watching from my vantage point, being able to be with Mom and Dad still, and being blessed by their love and the example of their love for over 70 years, and which has not been the kind of path I've had in the relationship, and I appreciate my path, but I appreciate their path, and that watching this next generation come up, which, you know, you are all so talented and confident, and open and caring, and you all know it, and you know each other in that way, and so I'm just, you know, feel so blessed that we've had such a productive family, and it's going to continue to grow and attract such beautiful partners. I mean, it's just been wonderful. And, you know, we all have our own paths in life, and, but I'm more confident of this group, whatever comes, good or bad, to be able to meet it and enjoy it. And I had one of the greatest times with Dad just 2 months ago when I got to come and just really spend the night, really spend time without Mom and not that you know, Mom's great. And just, again, because Father, who is the one, he's just so communicative, and that remains. But you give Dad a little time. He's always been the one that's held such a depth and empathy, really. You know, that's you know, so and that we're celebrating your 90th. Well, you know, it just shows how long I can do.
Yeah, you were wrong.
Yeah, anyway, so we all it's just wonderful to be here with this beautiful family.
Lived with Aunt Pat and Uncle Don when I was 18, and my family was in chaos, and it was a...
Louder.
I came to live with you when I was 18.
Yeah, that wanted you to hear you say it louder. I remember the peanut butter and carrot.
Yeah, I remember my Uncle Don, much younger, taught me my first tongue twister. So I learned how to swear. Uncle Don. I split a sheet I split, and what a slitted sheet was it. I borrowed his car, his company car, when I was 18. And crashed it.
We all did.
Not me! No crash for me! I don't feel so bad now. Everybody did.
Crash the car, crash the car.
I did not realize this until, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, but I infested the house with cockroaches by bringing my laundry home.
I remember.
Yeah. And they were really, really mad. But they didn't let me know how mad they were that I brought my laundry, cockroach infested laundry home. And my life would have been so different if I hadn't been able to go be enveloped by their love and forgiveness and sense of family. So while I've often felt outside the family, but always part of the family, I'm very grateful, obviously, and our lives are all enriched. And we're so blessed that you've been walking here for 90 years and 67 years of marriage. I don't know how to beat that.
Thank you. What to say, and you're probably going, oh God, one more.
Okay, we're just warming up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If there's one thing that really shaped and formed me in growing up, well, a lot of things did, but is having a house where everybody was welcome to come, and especially the people who didn't have parents that would accept them as they were. So I just remember growing up and having all of Logan's friends, especially. They're the ones we're keeping.
That was fun, wasn't it?
But I always said to myself, when I grow up and have a family, I want to have a house that welcomes everybody. Okay, I want to have a house that anybody is always invited to, anybody can always come to. And so that's, in the church, in a sense, that's where I live it out the most. But I also sit and look at all of us here. I've been like a child in this last 24 hours. At dinner last night, at breakfast this morning, seeing all of the cousins, the generation from ours, and absolutely feeling so fortunate that we have these amazing cousins. Our children are pretty phenomenal, all of them. And that they love each other, these cousins, our cousins, all of you guys, and that you're kind of committed to knowing each other and traveling and visiting with each other and things like that. It's so meaningful to me, and I think to all of us. But the other thing that's really, really meaningful to me is the fact that we've got Susan here, and Robin here, and Jim here. We've got Lizzie here, and my parents have always kind of taught us that there's no chance to not be loved, you know, and that if you become a part of us, you don't ever leave us. And that's really powerful to me. I mean, I think that has shaped how I view life. How I do everything I do is because everyone can start over, but everybody can be welcomed back. And we've all screwed up, you know, Lord knows we've all screwed up, but my parents are always going to welcome us back, no matter what. And I think the rest of us are too because of that. We understand that. So, you know, when I stood a year ago with Alan and got married, you know, and we're here, and Susan officiated my wedding, you know, and it was like, this is the way heaven is supposed to be? No, seriously. Or the way, you know, the kingdom, you know, the way the realm should be. You know, where there's this wonderful movie, I don't know if you have all seen Places in the Heart, it's really old, but please go see it. Okay, because the end of that movie is about people who have left this world, people who have hated each other, people all kind of sharing communion together, and it becomes this incredible family situation of where no matter what, people are loved. And so I'm getting a little preachy, I'm sorry. I didn't intend to do that. I didn't intend to do that at all. And so I value that really, really highly, symbolized by a lot of things here. So, boy, thank you, cousins, for being here for my children. I think all of us could say that.
I want to say something about the cousins. Did I do that?
And I'm not done yet. Sorry. And when Carolyn came to live with us, it was one of the most important parts for me, too. Barb was off at school. She came and lived, and she became my sister. And she was always welcomed into the family, like a sister, as well. Yeah. So anyway, I feel blessed, fortunate to be here, and love the fact that Emily and Jim are here. What Emily's gone through in this last year, losing both of her siblings. You know, I mean, you don't live through that, and so you are embraced in all of us because you are a part of all of us. You know, you always were, but now even more so. I mean, now even more visibly so. So anyway, it's pretty awesome.
Beautiful cousin Barton. And, you know, I thought of those who are here. And, you know, Joanne wishes she could be here. Logan and Naomi came through and saw Joanne. You know, she's paralyzed, half her body's paralyzed, but she wishes she could be here. And she can't. And Blake is 19 now, and he's a plumber's apprentice, and somehow he's got a young lady pregnant, and they're scared, don't know what to do, and so I'm going to deal with that. And his father, David, who you saw up here, is currently incarcerated, but he's okay. He's okay, but he's had trouble with alcohol, big trouble after the Marine Corps. So, but then I look up there and I see Celtic,
Yeah.
and I think of Jim. I think of those who are part of us that are in other places, in other parts of their lives, in other parts of the heavenly host. I think of Mabel and Wilson, here with us now. And you know, I have a strong belief in the power of Easter, and I'm not going to preach, but I'm going to tell you, I believe that we are in a place surrounded by many who are in the pictures. And I thank my delightful daughter, Jessica, for 900 pictures. I'm surprised Jim. Jim, aren't you surprised that Dean stayed with her?
No.
I mean...
For Jim, no.
Okay. I'd say so. But you know, the cousins, I want to say, I know who plotted this cousins thing. I know it because I used to watch it happen. Jessica, of course, was the one cousin who was privileged to grow up in Evanston. So she was the one cousin, because of eventualities, that got to go over to Grandma and Grandpa's house after school and get a hot dog cooked for her. You all could have if you lived here. But she was the one that did, okay? And I remember Grandpa taking Jessica over to, what was that restaurant called?
Parkway.
The Parkway, and plotting to get all of these cousins to Crane Lake.
Like he did
First Cousins Club.
He plotted it more than once. And as a result of that plot, Father, I think we have a bonded group of cousins.
Yeah.
And you solidified a family generationally in the place where Mabel and Wilson would have wanted that to happen. Because that's why they left Crane Lake to Patsy and Barbie and Sally. That it would be a place where the family would be able to sense the power of family. And then you see the Nightingales, and you see the others too. So, again, just to return to my theme, I think we're singing the Alleluia chorus today.
So, I'm one of the newest, right? We've got Dennis here, who's...
Are you?
He's testing the water.
He's hiding now.
We have Cassie, who's newer. But I got to meet Kathleen, then I got to meet Jocelyn, then I got to meet Zach and Grace, and now I get the pleasure of calling those three my stepchildren. They have to call me stepfather or not. By the way, when Kathleen said that she loved the idea of having her own home, the doors were open at all times for anybody, could you just check in with me before you show up for an indefinite period of time? When I got to meet Pat and Don a few years ago, and I thought, what a fabulous couple. And then selectively, I think I met Barb next, and then maybe Logan. But it took a family wedding before I really could see the full flower of the group. And we all see the families of friends. Some of us have other families, and so on. This one's really special, and this is sort of what the thing I wanted to say to you cousins. It's not an accident, and Ken talked about it here, that you guys are as close as you are. There's some luck involved, but there's something intentional about it. Intentional that started with the magic of these two, the cousins' trips to the lake, even though you're from all over the country. Treasure it. Don't take it for granted. Work on it. Reach out to your cousins. We've got email now, for God's sakes, and Facebook and the rest. So it's so much easier. In our day, it was a long distance phone call. Forget it. Write a letter. But you've got this magic that you've been able to start thanks to these two. You chart this out, it all comes back to them. But what you guys have as cousins, most families don't have. They really don't. Talk to your friends, check it out, see what they say. Oh yeah, I've got some cousins here. Yeah, I see them about once every 3 years or whatever. Look at this. This is magic. treasure it and nurture it.
Ginger ale. And whatever else they may have left in your glass. But first, Grandma and Grandpa, to Sally and Rick, to Barb and Stan, and to Pat and Dawn. Aunt Pat, you're so gracious. Lord, hospitality and graciousness from you. Uncle Dar, you have your perspective on life, your attitude, very positive no matter what you were doing. I just think about after Thanksgiving, you'd be the one in the kitchen washing those pots and pans and whistling and asking you, how do you do that? Washing dishes and whistling, it's all a matter of perspective, a matter of attitude. And you raised us with graciousness and heart. I want to tell a toast to the family.
Maybe just put a little perspective on it. You know, this unconditional love thing, you know, Rob is here, Susie's here. We welcome everybody to the family, how they can never leave. You know. We were sitting in the stands in Colorado years ago watching the Daddy-O's play softball. Do you remember going to Colorado and watching Logan's team of Daddy-O's play?
I did.
And so we're sitting in the stands, and I think Robin was sitting with us because you guys were already separated. And you were explaining to us that we were sitting with Don and Pat, and you were explaining to us that, well, the second baseman's now seeing the third baseman's wife, and the third baseman is going out with the catcher.
And we always say it's Boulder.
Yeah, but Don said he didn't understand this. He wanted to know, where's the animosity? Where's the, you know, he didn't see how this could happen. But I think you raised people the way you were treating them, which is really great. But the other thing that I just wanted to say is I've had some special times with the two of them. And one thing that hasn't been brought up, I can't beat everybody's comments about the unconditional love from this family, but I had some private times with Don. We would go out and drink coffee and eat pie at 4 and 20 Pies, right? Is that what it was called?
Baker Square?
Baker Square, whatever it was called. And just so that the four of you guys know, he's really the most intuitive person I've ever met. And he knew more about you guys, about the way you were and what you should and shouldn't be doing than you knew about. So I'm talking about starting 35 years ago. And he told me things about those guys, that I swore secretly.
All those years.
He knew everything.
Money.
He knew everything. And it always amazed me about it. How intuitive.
You look like you wrote it out.
I did. Well, I wrote on this card, this is, you have to look at this cute couple dressed in feathers and sparkles, and it says, you still got that sparkle. And I started thinking about all of the things I learned from you as a couple, and what you've modeled as a partnership over all these years. And I started listening, and I just ran out of room because you've influenced my life in so many ways. But I just wanted to share a few of them in gratitude for what I've learned. Some things I admire so much about your marriage. Your devotion to each other through all the ups and downs of your relationship. Your ability to overlook and forgive each other in difficult moments. Your support of each other to follow your careers in ways that were meaningful to you each. Your flexibility in changing roles as needed and desired. This is what couples have to do now all the time to survive, and you guys modeled that in an amazing way. Your respect for each other that superseded all cultural and gender roles has been a phenomenal example. your amazing ability to work together as a team in life to accomplish your goals. Your always number one focus on family. Your loving and playful care of all your grandchildren. Your demonstration and support of the importance for couples as parents to take time to be alone together. Your loving care of your elderly parents at the end of their lives. Never complaint, always joy, the service you've given to all of us. The family bond and joy and memories that you made possible through providing the sanctuary at Kline. Your sense of humor in all situations and all circumstances. Your always inclusion of me and all the other ex-partners in your loving arms and extended family. Your birthday calls and messages. Yeah, right. So many people. Your ability to disagree passionately and respectfully. And your example of how to create loving, and what everyone's spoken about, your example of how to create a loving home where everyone is included and appreciated. And that family is about the love. It's followed every place you've lived. Doesn't have to do with the structure of the place it's in. It's the heart and love that you provide and the large, large arms that you shelter us all under. Thank you for your example and your love.
How could we possibly be blessed with all of you? You honor us so greatly by being here. I want to say that I feel so incredibly fortunate to still have a husband. My husband has lost all of his close friends, men friends. When we came to the Manor, we knew no one. But we have developed the most wonderful men friends here. You realize that the ratio here in most senior places is 80% women and 20% men. Women just seem to live longer. And the fact that I still have a husband, I count my blessings every day. We have such fun. He has, as you know, the most incredible sense of humor. He's the most positive, outgoing, just has something special to say about everybody. He never complains. And so I just wanted to say and thank you all. Now I found a little something that maybe can get us out of this morass.
I thought it was Galilee Chorus.
Looking back, by those born between, and I didn't quite, 1923 and 2013, we took aspirin, ate mayonnaise, tuna from a can, and didn't get tested for diabetes. Then after that trauma, we were put to sleep on our tummies, on baby cribs covered with bright-colored, lead-based paint. We had no child-proof lids on medicine bottles, locks on doors or cabinets, and when we rode our bikes, we wore no caps or helmets in cars, with no car seats, no booster seats, no seat belts, no airbags, bald tires, and sometimes
no breaks. We survived measles, mumps, and chickenpox, and the polio epidemic. We drank water from the garden hose and not from a bottle. And we weren't overweight. Why? Because we were always outside playing, that's why. We would leave home in the morning and play all day as long as we were back when it was dinner time. No one was able to reach us all day, and we were okay. We would spend hours building our go-karts out of scraps and then ride them down the hill, only to find out we forgot the brakes. After running into the bushes a few times, we learned to solve the problem. We did not have PlayStations, Nintendos, and Xboxes. There were no video games, no 150 channels on cable, no video movies or DVDs, no surround sound or CDs, no cell phones, no personal computers, no internet, and no chat rooms, no iPhones, no iPads. We had friends, and we went outside and found them. We fell out of trees, got cut, broke bones and teeth, and there were no lawsuits from those accidents. We ate worms and mud pies made from dirt, and the worms did not live in us forever. We rode bikes or walked to a friend's house and knocked on the door or rang the bell or just walked in and talked to them. Little League had tryouts just for boys, and not everyone made the team. Those who didn't had to learn to deal with the disappointment. At 16, we got driver's licenses and filled up our parents' cars with 25 cents a gallon gas. The idea of a parent bailing us out if we broke the law was unheard of. They actually sided with the law. These generations have produced some of the best risk takers, problem solvers, and inventors ever. The past 50 to 85 years have seen an explosion of innovation and new ideas. We had freedom, failure, success, and responsibility, and we learned how to deal with all of it. If you are one of those born between 1923 and 2013, congratulations. I just thought this was kind of interesting. It had some other things, but I want to really, I've got Jessica, I made some comment way back. Do you suppose you could put a few pictures on something or other? Because you realize, all of you, this is our memorial service. You don't ever have to come again. We want to have a party.
Well, they know how to get us here.
I said that 3 times, Mom.
Are you planning to go somewhere?
What was I going
Don't let them distract you.
Jessica. So Jessica, my glory be, I had to go back and find them and find pictures and everything. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yes.
For the now, because of the time and everything, we have a beautiful, elegant cake back here. And we're ready. I think there's probably hot coffee. And so we'll do that. And then we're going to have family portraits taken by Joshua. And I don't know what the temperature is out. But I would like, it's okay, that we could, I was going to take Josh and ask him the many places, but I had ideas of the Rose Garden, which is across the street in the new garden, we're going to have a group pictures and then each family, because I sort of, because I want to. Yeah, so this is our day. Tomorrow, where's Katie?
There she is.
and Justin, our upcoming wedding people. It will be their day. And, you know, it's from 11 to 2 here. We're going to be in, what's the 31 dining room where the waterfall is. And so that's going to be special. So thank you so much. I've never heard, we just don't deserve it, but we're grateful, and your beautiful faces and all of you are special. Can we say happy birthday?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Conrad. Happy birthday to you. Anniversary to you. Anniversary, dear Conrad. Anniversary to you.
Back there, we'll just go back. The beautiful.
You got a job.
Hey.
I'm Susan, and I really echo so many things that were already said earlier today, and I don't want to repeat them, but from the first moment I met Ken and Don, they came out to Oberlin to meet Ken, to meet me. I was beginning to date Ken, and I just thought they were amazing people when I first met them. Can't remember the name of that little coffee shop that where we had it anyway.
I can't.
I can't do that. Anyway, sorry.
We're too distracted.
There's a hubba hubba picture.
I just want to echo everything that was said about how welcoming you are and how much I felt a part of your family from the very beginning. And I was the first add-on, and so you kind of broke you in a little bit in terms of they made space for the rest of you to go. I mean, in terms of all the unusual things that people do when they're dating.
Well, Father called you the Hope Diamond.
That was that was from those quotes or something else.
But
anyway,
he did that.
Anyway, I just really appreciate being part of your life and the models that you have been for family, and also to congratulate all of you cousins and children and grandchildren in the ways that you have imbibed those lessons that your parents, grandparents taught. And so thank you for welcoming me, Jim, Lizzie, all of us as part of this family. Two other things that I would do. One is just to say, this is not a memorial service. Just to keep your appetites whet, in a year, there's going to be another event here in Evanston. Yeah. June 21st is the date. Jessica and Dean, do you want to say anything else about it?
We will be getting married where Kathy and Alan. No, I know their names. Many other people before you got married at the chapel at First United Methodist Church. And then the reception will be at the Women's Club of Evanston. And so we are hoping that everyone can make it.
I know everyone.
And we do have a block of rooms reserved. It is Northwestern's graduation weekend, so just be aware. But we did get a block of rooms at what is now the Roadway Inn, but that you guys.
Fat butt, big bottom.
So, I don't know if there was, I remember.
All woman.
That will go down for generations of our family, I'm sure.
When I won the war.
Well, that's how we won the war. Whatever it was.
What's the one that here he comes.
Get out, Smiley.
The original.
I want to say that this young lady is the original Hope Diamond. So named by me. It was back a long time. And she is pure Hope Diamond. As well as being a lovely person. And my life is full of you lovely people. You know.
Could you sing something from Gilbert and Sullivan or something?
Oh, sure. I am the captain of the pinafore, and a right good captain too. You're very, very good, and be it understood, I command a right good crew.
He commands a right good crew.
So related to the salvagee, I am never known to quail at the fury of the gale, and I'm never sick at sea. But never,
No, never.
but never,
Well,
hardly ever.
He's hardly ever sick at sea, so he thinks this is enough.
That was good.
Oh, brother of mine. How about old brother of mine, Father?
What?
You just did it upstairs.
And the Sundays wood in the kitchen too. And we went a visiting. Me and you. Out to old Aunt Mary's. Why, I see her now in the open door, where the little gourds grew up the sides and over the clapboard roof. And my kids know these. From drives in the car.
Yes. And wasn't it pleasant for a boy to see?
Yeah,
And
you
wasn't
finish it, Barb and
for a
Kathy.
boy to be out to old Aunt Mary's.
Yeah.
I can see her now.
I think you taught us some more.
In the car traveling.
They used to do this stuff in the car.
A few more poems we need.
They'd all do it back.
Okay.
Yeah, we can all sing along on a song.
Yeah.
Okay. Turn off the. Such eloquent speaking and singing. I think that I'm blessed to be part of this family with so many great voices, so much music all around, and I know that. I'm not gonna follow that. I want to be able to see you all.
We don't want to lose you before we have you.
It feels good. It feels good. So I had a song in mind, and I might do two, but a song that reaches out across the generations and that has meaning, a familial meaning, and I always invite everyone to interpret the lyrics like there's a literal interpretation of these lyrics. Will the circle be unbroken? Which talks about generations upon generations of family. And then, of course, there's you're welcome to read anything into it as you like. But it's in the form where there's a verse and a chorus, and then a verse and a chorus, and you'll hear the chorus come around. So I hope to hear some voices joining me, and I hope you appreciate this song for you guys. This means a lot to me. I'm nervous. All right. Let me warm up. blow on one cold and cloudy day. You don't have to wait for the chorus. When I saw that first come rolling for to carry my mother away. Here it is. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a letter on the way in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Lord, I follow close behind her, try to hold up and be brave. I could not have no sorrow when they placed her in the grave. It's not your memorial service. Be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a letter on the way in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I went back home, my home was lonely. What a home so sad and alone. All my brothers, sisters crying. Oh, home is sad. Whatever. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a in the sky, Lord, in the sky. In the sky, Lord, in the sunshine is not knowing I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But then people keep moving, all souls saying it's home. When I was just a baby, my father told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and well, if they free me from this prison, there's this railroad train for mine. I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I wanna stay. And I let that lonesome whistle roll my blues away.
Pat, what are you doing, lady? Well, I'm getting in. Don't worry. Don't worry. I can call somebody. You can stay right there. She's going to get somebody. Okay.
Somebody else know instead of my
Before you break them up somewhere,
I will. Don't worry.
Grandma, sit down.
Each family, we did the cousins, the grandkids, we got Carol and Dennis.
Did we get the partners? Yeah, we got the partners. We got,
Here, I gotta get
You gotta play yourself. Pretty good. Look at all his teeth.
You're beautiful. So that
Oh, so we
anybody want to
smell the
carve
roses.
anything that hasn't
Help me
seen,
find my
haven't
pen.
seen
I'll take you over to
We would like to all get in the hot tub together.
at least see it, okay? Where we live, and so you can come up anytime, and